Distance runners are fairly well renowned for being able to get out the door and training consistently. However, one of the problems with so many distance runners is we're not really good at putting on the brakes. So today I wanted to talk to you about a couple of signs that you might be pushing it too hard. Yes, that's right. I want to talk to you about overtraining, or as some people like to call it, underperformance syndrome. Let's go. One of the biggest reasons that we hit brick walls or plateaus in our performance is because our body's not absorbing the work that we're putting in. So if you're watching this video because you're thinking maybe that's you, let me highlight a couple of warning signals that if you're suffering, you should consider toning it back, and then I'll give you a couple of alternatives or some solutions to be able to help you navigate this little frustrating patch in your running career. But with patience, consistency, and a little bit of discipline, you're going to get through it and come out the other end stronger. Now, at the risk of starting far too basically, I'm going to do it. The first sign that you might be overtraining is simply poor performance. If you're anything like me, after a poor performance, you go home, you beat yourself up, you get frustrated, you think this training's not working, this is so annoying, why aren't I seeing breakthroughs? We often fail to even consider that perhaps our training has been the problem. The thing that's supposed to be our best friend and help us spur along to better performance can often hold us back if we're not giving it the chance to be absorbed. So consider how your training has been going lately. Be honest with yourself. Have a look through your last couple of weeks of training and ask a few of these questions. Have I built up too quickly? Have I been doing more than I usually would do? Have my easy runs been easy, or have I perhaps been getting a little bit excited on those easy runs and trying to push it a little bit too hard? Have I given myself enough rest? Do I need a rest day? Am I offering myself a rest day? If you have gone through any of those questions and seen a couple of opportunities or potentials for some improvement, go back, try and make some adaptations, some adjustments. Is adaptations a word? Try and make some adjustments and then see how those couple of small adjustments make you feel. Often it is the most obvious things which, if we can manipulate and change, can see massive improvements in our performance. The second thing you might notice in those races that you feel so tired and you're frustrated because you're not seeing the improvement is the effort is so much harder, or rate of perceived effort. Simply put, that just means running at a pace that you'd usually feel relatively comfortable running at and noticing that it feels a whole lot harder. So if you're in that situation, that goes hand in hand with the first point. I would encourage you to go back over those 3 suggestions that I made and try and implement some of those small little changes to see if that makes an impact in your running performance. Also encourage you in this situation to pop down, get a blood test. There might be some low iron or a couple of other deficiencies going on there, which once you address, that physical change in your body will leave you stronger and more fueled for your next round of hard effort. Number 3, are you constantly sick? If your immune system is shot because you're training too hard, there's a good chance you're going to be super susceptible to viruses and bugs that your immune system just can't fight off. Myself, back in 2013, before there's some massive mosquitoes out here, before I finished up my competitive running, I was training way too hard. I was a primary teacher at the time, and as a result, every single bug that came into the classroom that I was at, it seemed to be something that I would take home with me and leave me feeling sick, exhausted, and obviously inability to perform at the level that I knew I was capable of. So I got on top of my training. I started to bring it back a little. I started to offer myself some rest days, some recovery days, some easier runs. And with a little bit of time, my body started to adjust and feel better. And as a result, it didn't take long for me to get back into some more competitive running before I hit my full flight once again. All right, the 4th thing I want you to watch out for, which ties in beautifully with the 3rd one, is sleep disturbance. Often, if you're overtraining, you're just not going to be able to rest as you need to be able to rest, which is kind of ironic and kind of frustrating based on the fact that it's what you need most. So if you're having trouble with your sleep, unless you're like me and have a new baby in the household, consider whether that might be a sign that you're overtraining. Waking up through the night, waking up with sweats, waking up feeling more tired than what you went to bed. In order to be able to recover effectively from these big sessions, we're going to need to get some effective rest. But in the meantime, before you can get that effective rest, turn down the volume, the intensity of your training. See if that improves your sleep, because once your sleep improves, your ability to recover, not only physically, but emotionally, psychologically, starts to feel a lot better as well. All right, and the 5th thing that I wanted to bring your attention to is your heart rate. Obviously, your heart rate is a really good indicator of the perceived effort that your body's going through to deal with the tasks that it's dealing with. However, at rest, we should notice some significant drops in our heart rate. So if you've monitored or you've looked at your heart rate for a little bit of time, or even if you haven't, maybe you could start looking at it now, you might notice that your resting heart rate is higher than what it has been in the past. Now, if that is happening with you, it's a really good sign that you could be overtraining. So pay some attention to how hard your body is working in different situations throughout your day, because obviously your heart is like a little microphone from your body to say, hey mate, I'm struggling here, or hey, we can go a little bit harder. So with those 5 things, we've got a really good cue, a really good foundation to start reflecting honestly on how our training is going, and from there we can make a few adjustments to see some improvements. But what does that adjustment period look like? All right, the first thing that you're going to want to do in this recovery period is give yourself some rest. If you're like a lot of distance runners, I know you're going to hate it, and that is terrible news to you. However, I promise this is for your best. The only way that your body is going to recover is if you give it the opportunity to do so. It doesn't matter how hard you want to train or how desperate you are to see improvement. The most ridiculous move that you could make in this point is to push yourself even harder. So maybe block out the next week, maybe block out the next 2 weeks, put your feet up, give yourself some chance to recover. Don't worry about exercise for a couple of days. If you have to do something, go for a slow walk. But in the meantime, I'm asking you, I'm encouraging you, don't push yourself, because now we've got to start focusing on building you back up to get back out there at your full potential. The second thing is we've got to make sure that we're eating well. Just like the appropriate fuel is required for the appropriate car, the appropriate food is required for your body to run effectively. So have a bit of a look through your diet. Are you eating well? Are you getting a whole heap of fruit and vegetables and some good healthy fats into your diet, or is it a little bit processed? Are you nourishing your body, if you were being honest with yourself, or you're leaning on the fact that you can justify eating a little bit of crap because you're burning off the calories? Your body needs those nutrients to function. So maybe introduce a little more vegetables into your diet, some more fruit into your diet. Maybe make sure your hydration levels are up to scratch. Go and see a dietitian if you need to, but one of the most important things that you can do is making sure that the food that you're applying to your body is the appropriate fuel, not only for your performance when you're running, but also for your general health in enabling you to be able to recover effectively. The third thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is your stress levels. Now, obviously, it is not new to any of us that the pace that so many of us operate at in 2021 it's incredibly high pace. We're trying to get more done in less time, and as a result, we can not only fill up our heads with stuff that we have to do, but we put a lot of stress on ourselves to get through all of these lists. So maybe you could consider not a more effective way to organize your day, but consider a couple of things that you can remove from your day so you can spend a little bit more time and reduce a little bit of stress on the things that are most valuable to you. If you feel like that could be something that's relevant to you, I highly encourage you to check out Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He really challenges us in this area. Also, the minimalists have a great set of tips for helping us eliminate the excess to focus on the essential. If you're constantly stressed, it feels crap as a start point. We should get on top of that, but also that's not going to help our performance, and it's definitely not going to help us recover it. Guys, I wish I could tell you that there was a one-size-fits-all solution to this problem. However, all of us are different, and these are only a couple of suggestions to help you get back on track. So make sure, if you're still struggling physically in a couple of weeks, go get checked out. Make sure you get your bloods done. Go see a GP. Go see a nutritionist. Make sure you're covering the bases so you can get back on track as quickly as you possibly can. Guys, I would love to continue this conversation in the comments below, as we always do. So the question that I've got for you, which is pinned just below, is what are the most effective strategies you implemented to get yourself through a period of overtraining? Guys, I've got new videos coming out every week, so make sure you subscribe to keep up to date with all the running news, tips, tricks, and strategies. If you wanted to check out our Relax Running membership, you can do that at relaxrunning.com. Hey, let's keep this conversation going down in the comments below. Oh, gee, mate, there are some big bugs out here. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Hey, would love also to know if there's any particular videos that you'd like me to make to help answer your running questions. So if you can think of anything, please whack it down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to make one just for you.